Welcome to Arts and Crafts with Luba Carlson. We are still working in the journal. We are figuring out and finding new ways and techniques that we can use in the journal on paper to help us calm down, relax, kind of release of all the negativity that's happening, and maybe even promote some positive thinking and bring some good energy. Now, I wanted to take you through the pages real quick because we haven't done the flip through ever. And all of these pages have been done here at the studio, and you can find them in season 1 or season 2, depending on. This was our very first one where we celebrated ourselves, and then we kind of learned to work a little bit with watercolors, and we used some markers on here. We celebrated the town that we live in and used a lot of the techniques that I will be talking about today on this page. So if you would like to look for more ideas for today's drawing, painting, piece, page, whatever you want to call this, you might want to look back at this episode over here. Now, this one is already season 2, and we worked on a collage. And also, this one was season 2, episode 3, where again, we worked a little bit with watercolor on cardstock paper, where we had to kind of spread the color through to create the sky. And it really wasn't easy. So again, if this is something you would like to do, you can always look back to this episode or this episode to kind of get a feel on how this is done. Now, this one was from the last episode. I still have a paper towel on it. And here we go. All right, so today I would like us to try and focus on quiet moments in our lives. We will work on a little landscape, but today I am not going to paint the landscape in this book because we've already done quite a few, well, couple pages, right, with watercolor on cardstock. I would like to try and do this on watercolor paper so that I can show you better ways to create the sky and maybe add little things to it. Okay, now I'm gonna open it this way so that I have a spread, that I have a little bit more space to move and maybe more space to show you. And before we start, I would like for you to try and settle in nicely in your chair. We're gonna do something different today, just a little bit of relaxation. If you would like to close your eyes, you can, or maybe just gaze down, or just maybe try to look at something that's not very distracting. And I want you to take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath in and exhale. And repeat it a few times until you can start to feel that you're really settling into the space where you are, where you're ready to pull up your brushes and your watercolor and really focus on creating something for the sake of the process of creation instead of worrying about what it's going to look like. I would like to invite you to imagine your place of peace. What does it look like? What does it look like when you imagine yourself somewhere and it's very quiet and you have the time to think and hear your own thoughts and maybe even hear your own breath? It is so quiet. Maybe you can hear a little breeze. Maybe there's trees. Maybe there are birds and you can hear the birds. Maybe you're somewhere near water and you can see and you can hear this whoosh of the waves coming in and off the shore. Think about the place where you feel calm and quiet. Think about that place. Now, as you're thinking about that, think about what's above you. I'm going to work off the space that has the sky. For me, I would be somewhere outside in the nature, There probably would be like a creek or something, maybe a hill, maybe, oh my gosh, I love to have a nice, warm, smooth rock, big enough to climb on it and sit on it. You know, things like that. And we are going to start with creating the sky. Now, again, I kind of went through this real quick, but we'll be using watercolors. I am still with my water brushes. I have my rag to clean my water brushes. We might need to use some pens later, but that's for later. That doesn't matter. Right now, everything that matters is our place, what it looks like, what we want to put in there. Think about simple things. Try and think, yeah, really simple. Simple sky, simple field, simple trees. Don't try to avoid trying to like focus on like a lot of details and adding a lot of tiny things in it. Tiny things will be added later when we're done with the main thing over here. All right, so I'm gonna start with the sky, and I'm gonna grab my biggest brush, which is round. Again, I'm guessing size 6 or maybe 8. And I would like to create the sky that is like nice, deep color. I would like to have deeper color on the top, and then as it moves down to the horizon line, it will be a little bit lighter. It will become a little lighter. So for that, I think I'll be using Prussian blue. I really like that. And I might even mix a little bit of sky blue from here. But let's start with Prussian blue. I'm just going to drop a little bit of, couple of drops of water into that so that I have that paint ready. And as I said, I'm going to be working on my watercolor in my watercolor journal today. So here's what I'm doing. I am clipping my pages. Why you want to do that is one, it helps the book from closing. It keeps it down and flat. But the other thing is that it helps with paper buckling, so the paper stays nice and flat. So I am just going to go. I hope you can see me dropping the drops of water all the way across my spread. When you work on 2 pages like that, it's called a spread. And I think this is how far I want the sky to take. And I am adding a lot of water, as you can see, because I want to be able to spread the color in nicely. Now I'm spreading the water in the journal on the paper, just moving it around. And I want it to just seep into my paper just a little bit. And what I'll be doing is I'll be adding color, and then I will be gently moving the color on this paper. Now, if you remember, when we did this in the regular journal with cardstock, the water would just go immediately through the paper, and there is not a lot of movement of color. So I really want you to see what happens when we use proper, so to speak, paper. Okay, so let's grab some of this blue. And since I want the darker blue on the top, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in. Here we are. And you can see it's starting to slowly move. There is a little bit too much water, so I'm just going to use my rag and get rid of that puddle. Sometimes puddles are good, and sometimes they are not helpful. In this case, they are not very helpful. Here's another puddle. See, the paper's still buckling because it's in the book and it's not really attached very well. Usually you would tape it to your, you could use a clipboard or something like that. Okay, I want a little bit more blue on this top. There we are. And don't be afraid of using this. Don't be afraid to put in maybe a little bit of extra color. It's not gonna hurt it. There we go. Maybe get it out of here a little bit. And I'm gonna turn it so you can see it, but I'm gonna lift it like this. And I don't know if you can see, but the color is starting to go down. Okay, and now you can see that the water is right on the edge. So I'm gonna grab my clean brush, I'm cleaning it right now. And I'm gonna help this move just a little bit more. Just a little bit. There we go. Going up on top and just helping that color move. Okay. We still don't want to overwork it. I think this is good. I'm gonna clean my brush. And now you can do this with paper towel. How about I do this with a paper towel so you can see it better? So it makes better sense than using the rag. So you just tear a bit, roll it, and then you can use this torn side and you can go in. And you see, as I'm coming through the sky, it's lifting a little bit of color and it's making it lighter. And that's what I want. I want it a little bit lighter. So I'm just going up, up, up. And I'm gonna make another one, tear just another piece. And go here and just grab some of this super bright color. And kind of I'm trying to even this out a little bit, but also as the paper towel is working here, look, I can start adding a little bit of like an idea of a cloud. Super wispy, hard to see right now, but it will be there. Okay, so let's say I want my cloud to be one go through across right here, and then I'm gonna make a puffy cloud over here to the side. I'm gonna grab some clean water, okay? So if you're using a regular brush, make sure it's super clean. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of water right on top where that cloud is going to be, right over here. That's where my cloud is going to be. And then I'm gonna grab my paper towel and carefully blot it out. Just blot, 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 right on that paper. See, it formed clouds. And then we can go back again, rub some clean water in, and blot with your paper towel. And it creates like these very light, and I said I wanted one right here, because I think it'll show better because there's more pigment on the paper here, so it should show better. And just pick it. Is it doing it? Do you see it? Did you try? Are you trying to do your own? I would love to see. So I really like, to me, it's very, like, to me, it's a sign of relaxation, I guess. Like, it's a spot. It's the right spot when the sky has these little wispy, kind of hard to see, but they're still there, clouds. Okay, I'm gonna Sometimes you have to go over this several times to just get all of this color out just the right amount so that you can see it. So it shows like something that you really wanted. There, I like that. Okay. Now let's put a couple of like I'm thinking like bushes over here, like tree line. That's not even bushes. That's going to be a tree line right here, coming here, and then over here. So for that, let's pick the color that we want. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with green. It's called sap green. It's pretty bright. I'm going to start at the top and just kind of using rounded motions with my brush. And just take up the space and leave a little bit of white spots too. So don't feel like you have to just color it flat in, okay? Just a little bit here and there. So just we have a nice line, something growing in the background. We can always come back and add something else to this, but we're just kind of setting the theme, setting how this is gonna set and look for us. Maybe over here. There, just a little bit of green. And now what's next? What's coming next for you? Because if your place of relaxation and quiet, if it's water, then we should start adding water. If it's like a field, then we should go for a field. If it's something else, you should go for something else. What is it for you? What works for you here? I think I'm gonna try and not go too hard, right? We said simple, so I'm just gonna put more water on here and do simple field. More water. And now I'm gonna use all of this water to help me add different shades of green to kind of communicate different kinds of plants. So I'm just doing the same thing as we did for the sky, spreading out, spreading all of this water. And sometimes it's hard to see if you if you covered all the paper, so it helps to kind of move it around a little bit and see if it glistens. And it'll show you the matte parts are the ones that do not have water, and the glossy, shiny parts are the ones that have water on your paper. And so this will help you see how you're doing that. All right, so maybe I'll do a little bit of a darker green, closer, like farther off, just like over there, something darker. I don't know what's happening there, but it will go into those trees in the background. I'll just do that. So things are growing right there. Okay, and you see how the green immediately starts to spread. I'm grabbing that, just the edge here. It starts to move, so I'm gonna let it do that. I'm gonna let it go naturally and take its places where it wants to be. And I'm holding this up to help paint flow into the water. Okay. And now I'm gonna add some nice green, bright, lively color, maybe right in here. This is very similar to what we did with putting blobs with Wabi Sabi, right? Except for here, we're focusing on just putting greens in wherever we want them. So I'm trying to make them like organic shapes a little bit so that they are not like straight lines for me. That's what I'm trying to achieve. Let's grab some maybe of this. And just add different types of greenery, different types of grasses are growing here. And maybe it's not just all flat as a field. Maybe there is some hills on there. There's a whole lot of intuitiveness kind of goes in here. Because sometimes really like it looks like it's all premeditated and planned out, right? But I really did not. And sometimes I would be here, but then my brush just goes here because it makes sense for something, I don't know. But it just wants to go there and I let it. Let it go there and do its thing and let your brush do the work. So yeah, I'm still with all the greens, so I'm still gonna go get more. Maybe this green, add a little bit darker. Maybe. Maybe right here. And I do not always articulate, I guess, that I clean my brush, but every time I do clean my brush between my colors, I do clean my brush. It just makes it a little bit easier to work with. Now, I really want to have some brighter colors, like brighter green. So I'm gonna go into, I think it's called sap green here. Oh, yeah. And maybe in here, in between, just fill in the spots. I just clean the brush on default in between the applications because this helps me remember that brush needs cleaning. Something here. As you're working on your colors, keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe. Enjoy it. See how they flow. Let's see, I think I'm gonna want to go almost into this, the emerald green. Let's see what it does. Oh, I love that. That's kind of bluish, right? But when we mix it with other greens, it's gonna look a whole lot different. When it starts to play with other color and all of that. Does this look peaceful to you? It does to me. I absolutely love this. I think I somehow managed to turn this into what the fields look like not the field, but like not the farmer field, but it's more like open spaces that would be used for hay in Ukraine, where I'm from. My grandpa would take us when he would go hay collecting, and this really looks like those areas. There would be there would be a river nearby and a forest, and it's just a whole lot of wilderness there. It looks like this, different greens, a lot of different greens. Now I'm gonna start adding some sunshine to it by simply adding some yellow. I'm using lemon yellow right now, and I'm just gonna start adding. See what it does? It really changes this whole thing. It's like, oh, look at that. That's not dried and barren land anymore. There is actually something growing, some fresh growth happening. And we can change things like that by just adding a little bit of yellow to things, you know? And I'm gonna get some cadmium yellow, which is warm yellow. And I'm gonna put it in this, right here, into this turquoise. Was it turquoise? No, that was called emerald green. But see what it does? It really changes, really changes this. So there is your field. There is your field. And when the field is dry, that's when you can go back in and use maybe your markers, your gel pens, your, let's see, what am I thinking? Posca pens. And you can maybe add flowers to this if you wanted to. I'm adding a little bit more of their color so that it's not as yellow. And just bring this in. Let's do a little bit more yellow right here. And then one last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean my brush and just use the clean brush with a little bit of water, and I'm gonna go smooth out some of these lines so that they are not looking like little hills, but more like just grass growing. So just kind of blending it in with a little bit of water. So I wanted to see it to look like this area more. Just kind of blend in the starkness of lines. Sometimes it helps. Or not, you know, do your thing. Do what you like. Do what works for you. Always do what works for you. All right, so this is our quiet mini landscape. And as I said, once it's dry, you can start adding things to it, like maybe little flowers or something else. Maybe you'd like to add a tree to it. Just let it dry completely before you do that. And I cannot wait to see you in the next episode.